Here's another fun build inspiration / theory craft for the Cosmere RPG. Critical mass. Have you ever wondered, what is the absolute largest amount of damage I can deal with a single blow? This build aims to answer that question. We got two goals: rack up damage bonuses and critically hit. This one is largely inspired by LanceWindmil, who shared this awesome version of the build with me on Reddit. It was so cool, I knew I had to highlight it, and that became the foundation for this video, so thank you. I'll outline the components of the build with some of my own ideas and ways you could go on to pump the damage even higher as you take it up to max level. Firstly, the weapon. We're going to need a big one, and a hammer offers the biggest damage die available at the start of the game, a D10. This later doubles to 2d10 when we pick up our Radiant Shard Blade and use its malleable form as a hammer. Combat training gives us expertise with the hammer, giving us momentum, meaning if we move at least 10 feet towards our target before striking, we'll have advantage on the attack. We can also graze once for free. Since we always want to be moving, we'll swear the first ideal of either Edge Dancers or Dustbringers to give us abrasion. This lets us move without spending an action by skating around. We'll eventually grab frictionless motion, graceful skating, slippery target, and smooth operator, all in the name of making skating better. Since skating lets us move without spending the action, we can take a fast turn, move, and still dedicate 2 actions to an attack. Speaking of which, we're next going to look for ways to boost our damage. Devastating Blow lets us roll extra d8s equal to our tier. Mighty increases our damage by 2 plus double our tier. Finally, at the bottom of the abrasion tree, Slick Combatant lets us interrupt a move with an attack, adding a damage die equal to your abrasion skill rank up to a d12 to the attack. Finally, we aim to maximize our heavy weapon skill, which is determined by your strength plus your heavy weaponry skill. We can bring strength up to 5 ourselves, then we get +1 from enhancing ourselves with Stormlight. Swearing the 4th ideal for Plate enhances us by 2 more, and if we're a Singer in War form and later Dire form, we can bring that all the way up to 10. Heavy weaponry skill will max out at +5, but you can dip into Scholar for erudition and Mind and Body to bring that up to 6, meaning a +16 modifier to heavy weapon tests and damage at endgame. So let's tally all those numbers up, assuming you're at tier 5. Your hammer hits for 2d10. Your heavy weapon skill adds 16. Devastating Blow adds 5d8 more. Mighty adds 12, and Slick Combatant a d12. That means your hammer is smashing for anywhere from 36 to 100 damage, but averaging around 68. Still huge, but unfortunately with all these dice, there's a lot of variance. But what if there wasn't? In the Cosmere RPG, when you score a critical hit, you maximize the result of all damage dice involved in the test. We can turn a regular hit into a critical hit by spending an opportunity. We earn opportunities by raising the stakes on the test or rolling within our test's opportunity range. By default, that just means rolling a natural 20 on the test. So let's explore both. Opportunist and risky behavior allow you to spend a focus to raise the stakes on a test for a 33% chance for an opportunity. Once per scene, we can re-roll the plot die if it doesn't go your way. That equates to a 55.5% opportunity chance. But you could go even further. Double Down lets you re-roll a second time for a 70% chance to find at least one opportunity. You could also use an advantage on your initial plot die, bringing the total number of plot die seen up to 4 and an 80% chance for an opportunity. Alternatively, use Sure Outcome instead of any opportunist rerolls to turn a complication into a guaranteed opportunity. With advantage on the initial roll, so 2 plot dice, that's about an 89% chance to see at least one opportunity or a complication which you could spend focus to then turn into an opportunity. But Opportunist and its rerolls are only usable once per scene, and risky behavior costs focus. We can get free opportunities by rolling within our opportunity range. So by default, that's 20, so we have a 5% chance on any given test. Blood Stance increases our opportunity range by 2, and signature weapon by 1 initially, but then 2 at tier 3. With both towns, we increase our opportunity range by 4, and we get an opportunity to crit by rolling a 16 plus on our d20 for an attack test. That's a base 25% crit chance. But don't forget, we'll often have advantage, meaning it's really a 43.75% chance to roll a 16 or higher. So combining that with various numbers of plot dice seen by risky behavior, advantage, opportunist, and double down gives us the following chances for an opportunity. Now this might be way more info than you ever want to see about critical hit rates, but I had fun making it in Google Sheets, so sue me. So the top row of this table shows our always active base chance to see an opportunity with a 20, 18, and 16 plus opportunity range, along with all those swinging with advantage. The left column showed the odds of finding an opportunity in blue by using risky behavior and the related abilities to see up to 4 plot dice. The bottom 2 rows in green show our base chance with Sure Outcome and Sure Outcome with advantage. The remaining body of the table shows the odds of finding an opportunity when we combine those various scenarios. 2 interesting things to see here. Firstly, adding 2 to your opportunity range, so moving from 18 to 16, is pretty much the same as always rolling with advantage when you have 18. Secondly, when looking at any of the columns, when we only have 1 advantage, it's more beneficial to use it to see an extra plot die so to move down a cell, than it is to use advantage on the test roll and move right 1 cell. This makes sense because an extra plot die has a 33% chance to get an opportunity, while our base test die only has a 15% chance, or whatever it is. So this is of course purely in regards to finding an opportunity. You do actually need to hit your target in the first place for any of this to work. So that's the crux of the build. We're skating past and absolutely annihilating our opponent with a monstrous hammer blast that has a very reliable chance of giving you an opportunity, which you can convert into 100 damage at tier 5. So don't forget, since your shard hammer is deadly, you could also use those opportunities to inflict an injury, which will automatically defeat minor foes. And while we've mostly been focused on single target attacks, it's maybe worth nabbing shard training to deal some area damage, though note it only works with the regular old strike action. So you'd max out at 54 damage on the main target and 36 damage per graze. With 3 to 6 targets in your range, you're very happy to do that instead of using devastating blow. Remember, you could also shift your shard blade into a poleaxe to extend your range for this, bringing more enemies into your reach. So this is how you'd want to actually play this build in a real setting, but now for fun, I'm going to leave playability and practicality behind and single-mindedly go into theoretical ways to make that damage number go up. Think of this as a thought exercise and a friendly challenge. Assuming favorable test rolls, see if you can get a higher damage number from a single melee attack on a single target without using fall damage. I hope you can. So for starters, I'm going to switch our weapon to a custom crafted pain reel. The pain reel is a light weapon that, on a hit, lets you spend a charge to add your skill modifier to the damage 1 additional time. It'll be an exceptional creation with a greater damage upgrade to give it a d8 damage die. I wanted to stack this multiple times to get up to a d12, but I believe the rules about multiple effects and abilities with the same name not stacking may prevent that from working, but for now, we'll just take it once. Then we'll take Amplified for free advantage in all our attacks, and Wide Area to allow us to use our attack in an area if we wanted to. We'll change our attribute focus to speed and light weaponry, swapping to relay form and using mind and body to bring us to the same plus 16 modifier I talked about before. So d8 base damage plus the additional application of the plus 16 modifier gives us 24 max damage, a net 4 increase over the 2d10 of the shard hammer. We'll go into Dustbringer so we can kick up a searing dust cloud and hopefully trap our enemies in one. We'll use an erudition point on discipline to make that 6 damage when they're hit for the first time. Instead of devastating blow or fatal thrust, which both add a potential 40 damage, we're going to use Wit's End, which deals 6d10 extra damage for a max of 60. The catch is that it needs to be used on a target with 0 focus, so it's far less practical most of the time. We'll also have a leader ally give us a command die that they've maxed out to d10 with their various talents. Since this isn't a damage die, we won't be able to maximize it on a critical hit, but we can add the result to our final damage. Finally, we'll apply a potent poison to our pain reel, which will force the target to pass a DC 16 athletics test or take 3d10 vital damage. We can't maximize these dice either with opportunity. So drum roll please. On a critical hit, we deal 8 damage for the pain reel, 32 damage from double light weaponry modifier, 60 damage from Wit's End, 12 damage from Mighty, 12 damage from Slick Combatant, 6 damage from Searing Duststorm, bringing us to 130, plus 3d10 poison and 1d10 leadership for an average of 22 across 4d10. 152 damage, or 134 to 170 damage from a single attack. And if you wanted, you could be dealing that to every enemy within 5 feet of you. Boom! So here again is LanceWindmil's starting talents choices for the build, which offer a great way to get playing and enjoy this build right away from session 1. You can expand it in any order you like, but here I just started as a singer for dire form, then after following his same path, I nabbed shard training for area attacks, then dipped down a signature weapon to increase our base crit chance. Next, I spend 2 talents unlocking dire form for 2 more strength, and therefore increasing our hit chance and damage, then erudition and mind and body to increase that by another point, then double down to fish for more crits on that first reroll. This second version here follows the impractical theoretical plan for max damage. It's probably not as fun to actually play through a whole campaign, but might be fun for a one-shot that starts at max level or something like that. So that's my inspiration for critical mass. Let me know if you got any ideas for this type of build, if I missed any must-have talents or expertises, if you caught any mistakes, or if you got any ideas for the next one. But for now, thanks for watching, and don't forget to enjoy the journey.